So some of the most important muscles at the hip, some of the most important muscles for the lower limb as a whole, and therefore some crucial muscles in physiotherapy. Let's take a look at the gluteal muscles. Hey guys, Khalid here. Welcome back to Clinical Physio. Now, when we're going through anatomy, there's only one place to start, and that's with our 3D anatomy model. So guys, when it comes to the gluteal muscles, the most obvious one to start with is the one and only Gluteus Maximus muscle. Probably the most recognizable hip muscle, and certainly the most recognizable hip extensor alongside the hamstring muscles. And naturally, it's the biggest muscle in the gluteal region. Now, as you can see, it actually covers most of the gluteal region, and if we bring in some of the other muscles around the hip, we can see that these are even more covered by the Gluteus Maximus. It's a huge muscle. Now, if we look at the origins and insertions of this muscle, they are quite vast. So we start with the origin, and the most clear origin of the glute max muscle is the gluteal surface of the ilium, which is the superior posterior surface of the ilium. And it has a couple of other smaller origin points, including the lateral sacrum and the lateral aspect of the coccyx. And it also has other myofascial attachments to the muscles or fascia around the thoracolumbar region and also the sacrotuberous ligament. Now, in terms of the insertion points, there are two main insertion points for the glute max. And the first one is at this kind of distal point here, which is the gluteal tuberosity on the posterior surface of the femur. But also another really crucial insertion is the connection between the gluteus maximus and the iliotibial band, or the ITB, one of the most commonly talked about structures at the lateral leg. And so we need to remember that the ITB isn't a muscle, it's actually a thick fascia, and we know that the gluteus maximus fibers almost blend in with the ITB before the ITB continues down the leg. So let's talk about the function of the gluteus maximus muscle and how this matters to physio. As you can see, it's a huge muscle, and the key function is as a hip extensor, as we talked about earlier. But more importantly than that, the key function of the glute max is all about power, a combination of force and speed. And when we're thinking about when the glute max is really needed, it's for big, powerful movements. We're thinking about squatting, jumping, sprinting, pushing, all these really important movements that we will do, particularly in a sporting environment. So how does that matter to physio? Well, it means that if you want to really get this muscle working, number one, think about power, and number two, try and relate it to those movements. There's no point underloading your exercises when it comes to glute max. You really want to ramp up the weight, because we know that in order to really produce powerful movements, we need big forces going through our rehab. So the next muscle to talk about is gluteus medius. Now, as we can see, this particular muscle originates on the gluteal surface of the ilium, but pay particular attention to just how high up on that gluteal surface it does actually originate from. Then we know that this muscle inserts into the greater trochanter of the femur. And in particular, we can see that it's almost on the slightly latero-posterior surface of the greater trochanter. And now let's move on to the gluteus minimus muscle. So we can see that this actually sits directly underneath the gluteus medius muscle, which we looked at a second ago. Now, in terms of the origin of this muscle, it also originates from the gluteal surface of the ilium, but we can see that it actually originates from a lot lower than the gluteus medius does on that surface. Then, when we move on to its insertion, we can see that it also inserts into the greater trochanter of the femur, and we can see that here. Now, in relation to the gluteus medius muscle, it actually sits a fraction more anteriorly on that greater trochanteric surface. Now, a really important thing to say about both the gluteus medius and minimus muscles when they attach onto the greater trochanter, as we can see here, is that it means that when your patients come to see you with lateral hip pain, we really expect them to present with pain around that greater trochanter, around that lateral surface of the hip, which may well tell us that they have a gluteal tendinopathy, a tendinopathy of one of these two key tendons. So certainly look out and think for that diagnosis when you have patients with that lateral hip pain. Now, we talked about glute max being a really powerful muscle, these big, high energy force movements. Well, actually, the role and function of glute med and glute min is very, very different. We can see that these are much smaller muscles. They're far less vast in the area that they cover, and instead they have more of a role in stabilizing. We can see here how they originate from the pelvis and they insert into that greater trochanter, as we said, and therefore it kind of makes sense that these muscles have a role in stabilizing between the pelvis and the lateral hip. And therefore they're going to be most active in stabilizing and balancing those two structures when we're standing on one leg, when we're going up and down the stairs, when we're jogging, those movements that require a little bit of stability for a long period of time. So what about rehab? Well, we talked about glute max being a big, vast, powerful muscle, and therefore we want to think about big, powerful movements. That's not the case with our glute med and glute min. These are smaller muscles. We talked about their role being in more of a stabilizing capacity, and that's where we want to think about rehab exercises that also mimic that stabilizing capacity. So we're thinking about lower intensity contractions. Maybe we're thinking about higher levels of endurance because we know that that stability is needed all day long. So we might be thinking about exercises such as standing on one leg, doing different activities on one leg, where we're asking those muscles to try and stabilize the position of the hip and the pelvis accordingly. We might be thinking about something like a single leg bridge, but instead of asking the patient to really force their bottom off the bed, we might be thinking about a slower, more controlled movement where they're thinking more about balance and stability. So hopefully that makes sense in the difference between the two groups. So guys, I really hope this video has helped you understand the differences both anatomically and clinically for the glute max, glute med and glute min muscles. If you've enjoyed this video, please support us by smashing that like button, subscribing to the channel, and make sure you check us out on Instagram @ClinicalPhysio and on our website clinicalphysio.com. My name's Khalid. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon here on Clinical Physio.